Howdy, partners. This is Dominic D'Angelo of, where am I? I'm all over the place. Adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and OneTrueSportTV.com. And you can see I am by myself today. Robert is out on assignment, but I am here to talk a little wrestling with you. And that includes a great deal of Monday Night Raw. And what a Raw it was indeed. Holy smokes. Have a lot to take away from there, a lot to cover. Let's give some shout outs to some folks here. Antonio Santos, happy Tuesday. Dominic and Liv almost got to Pornhub level last night. That is true. Very true. Yes, I agree with you completely, Mike Malario. Great tributes last night to Brody and Bray. Really loving what WWE is doing here. Yes, we will go into that. And Alt Jake says, good morning, all. Hey, everybody. How's it going? Thanks for tuning in. Here for the Blue Chew ads. I will try to do it justice today as much as I can without Robert really getting the creative mind behind it all. But we'll see how it goes. But, guys, we are live as usual on WCreative_ish Twitter and SE Scoops as well. So shout out to that, SEScoops.com. But let's talk about Raw, guys. It was good, right? It was a really fun show and a lot to take away from, I think, the episode in general when it comes to them building towards SummerSlam, cultivating some interesting stories, leaving us a lot of interesting things for, the coin to probably turn at some point with some of these stories too, when it's, I'm thinking, a lot of different stuff and furthering angles and stuff and, getting everybody, what I liked, and this is kind of maybe an understated aspect of Raw, was that people would be playing into one another's storylines, where it's like, even if it's a passing comment or anything like that, but I liked it, and it was a very fun show. So let's get to it. The whole show started off with Rhea Ripley coming out, having some comments to make, and basically Dirty Dom coming out there too, trying to make peace, and he's just so good in his role. It's just, you think about him just walking out there and like almost doing the Eddie Guerrero thing with China back in the day, basically doing the same thing, honestly. And here he is, he's kind of looks like Eddie with the hairstyle and all that stuff, but here it's like he's got no game whatsoever. And Rhea is not having it, and he's not only does he not have game, but he's a big time in the doghouse, and Rhea does not want anything to really do with all that stuff. And then Liv pops up on the screen, cuts a promo, and Rhea challenges her for SummerSlam. So indication that she'll be ready to go by SummerSlam. Any injuries like from the shoulder not withstanding. So and like Liv accepted. So this is a fun one. And with Rhea being back in the Judgment Day and in the fold of everything, it's neat to see everybody kind of play off one another. We didn't get so much of that with Finn, I don't believe, last night, but everybody else and JD. But like we got a little Carlito, we got a little Rhea, we got more of that. They had a fun kind of world going on here this week's episode that they have been doing, I think, for the most part with Judgment Day. I don't think that's a thing that is necessarily too contrasting or different or anything to that effect when it comes to it working on the show. And this continued to make things work, I think. So really liked it. Opening segment and kind of how it trickled out throughout the whole episode. We'll get to a little bit more of that later on, but thought that was a good way to do it, to set things up for the Raw. People were expecting to see what Rhea had to say, and sure enough, they led off with it. So it's good stuff. We also had a little Sammy and Ilya Dragunov exchange backstage, which I liked. The only exception I guess I'll kind of take with it is that it's always like, and I know he's a younger guy and that he's not, Sammy's been around and has done so much stuff and he appreciates him and respects that kind of thing. I guess it's like, just kind of uh over that, like, okay, you're an up and comer kind of thing. I don't know. Does that make sense? It's still good, and it's still like understood it, but it's also like, I don't know. I want to just have Ilya, and he kind of did. So I wanted to see more of Ilya being like, "Yeah, I know what I'm doing, and I've been here before. I'm not gonna like look at you as somebody that's a wiser sage than I am. But here, I have confidence in myself that I know what I'm doing in the ring and stuff like that." And Ilya did kind of show that at the end of that exchange, so it wasn't bad. Just something I kind of picked up on. And but yeah, then we that would later be the main event. We also had Braun Breaker, Braun Breaker approaching Adam Pearce and being like, "Hey man, you freaking left me off of this," and like Ilya gets to have this main event match, and he ends up wanting to kick out, making sure that Braun leaves. He's not in the arena for any of this and has security on it. Security was in full force tonight on WWE Raw. Um, but yeah, thought that was cool. As far as what else did I see that I liked on there too? Oh yeah, that's right. The Gunther video package was very, very good. I thought that was wow. Like, kind of just really sets the tone for making this a bigger deal in regards to what in regards to it, just setting, yeah, like setting him up for SummerSlam, and like making him feel like this guy that's, yeah, he's not like everybody else. He's got this, he didn't grow up a fan or had a dream and things like that, where he throws that out at other people and stuff like that. And we'll see that later on with Damian Priest. But I thought positioning him in this video packaging, and like what they do with what they've been doing with a lot of these talents, is really good on WWE's part to do. It's like gives you an inside look at this person, and either makes you like them or hate them. And that's kind of what you're looking for when it comes to. And hey, it fills a little time too, which is always nice. Yeah, especially if you have a 3-hour show. Why not try to make it the most that you can? So yes, I liked that one. Let's see what else I enjoyed. Oh yeah, the Sheamus Bronson Reed match, obviously. This is what I was talking about. So they showed the video package, or no, they showed the backstage scene between Rhea, Dom, and Damien, where Rhea throws the roses at Dom. And then they cut to Sheamus, and you can hear him not on the mic, just in the ring, being like, "You're in the doghouse, fella." And I thought that's such a neat thing to kind of like, baby faces enjoying it, and even he's entertained by that kind of thing. So I like that kind of overcrossing connection of it. Just kind of made it a fun little, more of a dynamic going on there. So big fan of kind of how they set all that up. And here we go. Sheamus and Bronson Reed slug it out. Sheamus gets the win, furthers the story with Pete Dunne, who is turning heel. And then Bronson Reed, man, it's like he's got such a great, like, his finisher is so simple, but it's like super effective. It's like he doesn't like leap off the top rope. He just falls, like, just like and there's still momentum behind it. It's a great simple finishing move. And Bronson Reed, yeah, I think there's gonna be more on the horizon for him, as once things start cooking. I think there's a lot of potential in utilizing him a little bit more than what WWE has been, as kind of like this like tough guy that hasn't really got a whole lot of wins under his belt, when he's more of like enhancing a lot of the main eventer guys. So I think there's going to be a point to where Bronson will get to that point too. I think they'll think of something for him. They'll think of. I think Robert's got a point too, when it's like talking about his look and things like that. Change it up, make him feel different. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that either. So, yeah, but I thought that there was a good match to kind of keep the fans engaged, keep the show going. And then we had a little backstage segment with Zelina Vega, Sonya Deville, oh my God, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark. Zelina's very good on the mic. I think she kind of just missed some with some of the insults. She's been good with the insults, I think, recently. But the forehead thing was kind of dumb with Sonya. And even Sonya kind of reacted like, "What the hell was that?" Like that kind of thing. But they have a match. It's neat to see Sonya back in the ring, and she gets the win after the big medal in the business. After Shayna basically like tries to hurt Zelina's wrist, and that affects her, and they get the win off of it. So I think it's good to do this. You want to really continue to establish the women's division, both the heels and the baby faces. And I think this has kind of got this on where it's like, yeah, we got these gals all together. But where are they going to go with this? Obviously, this also set up for Caden Carter and Katana Chance. But this is, again, another 3 women kind of group where there's nothing 3 women can really do together when it comes to winning titles and stuff. You have the tag team championships, but how are you going to get this group over as all these single competitors too at the same time and in a tag team where you potentially just don't have the titles on the line at certain points too? So I don't know. It's going to be, I hope it's kind of more of the angle of they're trying to establish a women's tag division a little bit more and kind of delineate where these are going at. So hopefully that's kind of the route they're taking. But yeah, I think it's a cool thing to kind of see Sonya Deville back in the mix after, we haven't seen her back in the ring for, it feels like forever. But yeah, so a good thing there. And yeah, let's talk about the Damian and Gunther going face to face here. Good stuff, I think. Gunther taking an angle that I did not expect when it comes to saying, kind of calling him like a Damian, like just a street punk, basically. And Gunther happily admits that he led a life of privilege from the storyline standpoint, and Damian had to fight from underneath, and literally there was stuff he had to deal with on the streets and like to save his own life, all that kind of stuff. So thought that was good. Thought some of Damian's retorts, I would have liked to see him kind of, I'm trying to think, there was a certain moment where I was like, oh man, it would have been cooler if he said something about this or things like that. Thought he did okay. I like more of his babyface style when he's in the cutscenes with the Judgment Day, Dom, you name it. I think he's got like this presence and this command about him where he is likable and kind of organic, and somebody that's like, hey, he kind of has this kind of cool leader attitude to himself. And here, I just don't think it hit as well as it usually does backstage and behind the scenes. But still a good exchange. And then this sets up the match for him and Braun Strowman after the fact, and gets the win against Braun Strowman. So, and as it should happen, so yeah, that's Gunther kind of talks about that whole aspect of your reign has been nothing, no prestige, no contributions. So leading into the fact that what Damian has had a chip on his shoulder about. So I liked that idea. I also like, what was the other thing that I did kind of appreciate when it came to, what was it though? Oh, here's the idea. Somebody made a mention of this in passing. Something I was reading on either social media or whatever. Somebody said that they are predicting that they think Damian will win at SummerSlam, defeat Gunther, and then he'll drop the title to him at Bash at Berlin. I don't think that's a bad idea, really. I think Gunther is so very good and does not wrestle all the time. Sometimes isn't even on the show. And here he shows up. He feels like a big deal. He feels like they're building to making him that main event dominant champion that we're going to get. Now, you go to SummerSlam. People are really expecting Gunther to win at SummerSlam. Like, that's, kind of what everybody's kind of just thought about. But what if they had Damian defeat Gunther at SummerSlam, and then you have Gunther ultimately get the win in his backyard? And I think the way they have built Gunther, not just after WrestleMania, but obviously during his Intercontinental title run, makes him feel pretty Teflon, and he's been extremely well protected. And so him Losing to Damian, you kind of get the best of both worlds on that one, I think, because you establish Damian as that champion. That, hey, he beat Gunther. Okay, he beat Gunther. He beat Seth Rollins. But if he beats Gunther straight up, you made him a credible champion. You made that chip on his shoulder. You made him prove his worth in that. And I think that might be the best story to tell for both these guys, because you get Gunther and Damian rematch, Bash at Berlin. Sure, maybe you're teeing it up for like what you're expecting to have happen, but aren't we kind of doing that already with Gunther and Damian? Doesn't everybody already expect that Gunther is gonna win at SummerSlam? So I think if you instead tee it up for Bash at Berlin, I don't think that's a huge problem to be concerned about. So and yeah, I think you get you have your cake and eat it too when it comes to like getting Damian over as a credible champion. But then, boom, you also build and make it feel like a big deal still when Gunther wins at Bash at Berlin. I almost said Bash at the Beach. SummerSlam is about the ring general, says Andrew. Yeah, and like the video packages clearly are kind of really leaning towards that. But I still think you can still turn it on its head and get Damian to win that, like defeat Gunther, and you still not miss a beat. I don't know. Maybe that's weird me, but I like that kind of idea of, hey, you're building all stars here. You're building him to be this star, the next big guy. I don't think it would really hurt if you pulled the rug out from under everybody and showed that, hey, Damian beat him straight up, and let's try it again at Bash at Berlin. I don't know. I'd kind of like that, I think. Next up, you know what? Let's see. You can tell I did a rundown today, right? We had Braun Strowman, Damian Priest, Kana Chance. Yeah, we had that tag match. That's fine. Kind of speaks to what I was saying earlier when it comes to like, what are they doing exactly when it comes to, are they establishing a tag division? I would like to see that kind of get hammered home a little bit more. Oh yeah, let's talk about it. Adam Pearce, Drew McIntyre. They have the little confrontation. Things seem to go swimmingly at the first moment of it all. Drew's very willing and able to kind of make amends here and get things going so he can have that match with CM Punk at SummerSlam. But then he blew it. Did you ever see Copland with De Niro? You blew it. So Adam Pearce wants him to apologize to the referees. And Drew was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he didn't. He didn't do it. He that reignited his anger, and he shoved the referees. And then security was brought out to take him away, and he just walked off. And he was still suspended. I don't know. I guess we got to wait for the follow-up, but not my favorite segment, I would say. I would think, I was expecting a little bit more when it came to Drew having some words for Punk. And I don't like it, just like kind of them stringing us along even further when it comes to like, okay, Drew suspended still. What's happening? Is Punk going to be back next week? It's just, I don't know. It's like, yeah, I get maybe this kind of furthers Drew as a heel here, doing this kind of stuff and everything. But it's also like, yeah, it did not hit as much as I wanted it to. I was really looking forward to seeing what Drew had to say. And this was kind of like stopgap kind of feel. Like, okay, we got to wait again until next week for stuff to further on. There was basically not. And granted, there's a lot going on this episode of Raw. So it's not like you really had to have something here. But, it's still kind of just like, oh, okay, what was the point of all that? He's still suspended. Okay, well, let's wait again. Let's punt the ball and wait another week. So, I don't know. Next up, we have, hey, but, oh my God, I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it, guys. If you don't want to punt in the bedroom, this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about sex. Guys, remember the days when you were always ready to go? Now you can increase your performance and get the extra confidence in bed. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of the licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days. The best part about it, it's all done online, so no visits to the doctor's office, no awkward conversations, and no waiting in line at the pharmacy. Blue Chew tablets are made in the US of A and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package. You could be missing out on the best sex of your life. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew free when you use our promo code RUMOR at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com. Promo code RUMOR to receive your first month free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. All right. Not the ultimate segue. Obviously, I am not as good as Robert when it comes to that. But what WWE's been really good with is this Wyatt Sicks stuff. Holy smokes. So Pat McAfee got a videotape dropped off to him on the Pat McAfee show last week. And he brings it to Raw, and we get to see it. And it is just a solo shot of Eric Rowan. And wow. Really establishing the Wyatt Sicks as a babyface act. He pays homage to Brody Lee and Wyndham Rotunda, saying he lost two good friends, two good brothers, and really broken up about it. Really organic stuff, some powerful stuff. And looking at the lamb mask, the sheep mask, and talking about all that stuff, just a really great video, and hammering home that wow, these guys are he even kind of talked about being the forgotten kind of yeah, I'm just Rowan and that's it. And then now this whole thing gets him reinvigorated and everything like that. Really cool stuff. And yeah, to what we'd see a little bit later on is establishing the Wyatt Sicks, as creepy as they are, basically baby faces. And yeah, so and the follow up to that, I think Michael Cole and Pat McAfee handled that whole after the moment segment very well too, just kind of with the cadence or the inflection of their voices and everything like that. I think they did a really great job on that. So was a big fan of that, and was a big fan of Chad Gable this whole show. I love him doing the oblivious detective where, hey, did you guys know I solved it? Bo Dallas is Uncle Howdy. And everybody's like, yeah, we know. Okay, we get it. And then he's still like, yeah, because word's been getting around that I figured it out. So that's still very funny. But then same turn, you're setting up good heels here. So Chad Gable wants to confront Bo Dallas in the ring after Adam Pearce says that he is in the building. And Bo Dallas, no bells and whistles, comes out, has a Wyatt Sicks shirt on, just looks like kind of like a normal dude for a pro wrestler as it is. Gets ambushed by Julius. And oh my God, what's his brother's name? Brutus. Julius and Brutus Creed. And a beatdown. And this is cool. This is they've been teasing this for weeks on end, months on end even. And here they're helping out Chad Gable after it was evident that Otis and the Alpha Academy weren't going to help him. So we get them ambushing Bo Dallas, and Bo's smiling throughout the whole beatdown of it all and laughing and whoa, this guy he's on another level of stuff. And so it's frustrating Chad Gable. They're really beating him down a lot. It seems like a longer kind of segment going on until the lights come out. Boom. Go out. And sure enough, out come the rest of the Wyatt Sicks. And it's what a cool visual this is. It's just dark. It's kind of hard to see in the ring. And you see the Creed brothers standing there strong and ready to go. You see Gable there looking strong, kind of ready to go, ready to fight. Then all of a sudden Gable just bails. He bails. And then that kind of freaks the Creed brothers out. And they're like, all right, we'll bail too. And then they get out of the ring. So cool segment, cool little pose at the end. Love this whole aspect that they are establishing the people behind the masks and not making them supernatural, not making them, personas. They're them behind these masks. There's a reason they're setting all this up. It's really, really good stuff. It's what you want. It's how to make this whole thing work. And they're doing it. They're hitting it to a T. It's perfect stuff. It's such a fun aspect of the show. And really establishing guys and gals with Nikki Cross that it's going to be very, very cool and pretty exciting. They're doing a great job with this. I'm excited to see more from it. And yeah, big fan of it. Big fan of it. Okay, a couple more topics when it comes to Raw here. We have Jey Uso taking on Dominic Mysterio. Obviously, this was furthering a story along with what was going on, and Liv gets a little Netflixy, if you will, Netflix and chill with Dom, and Rhea comes out, and it ultimately costs Dominic Mysterio the loss against Jey Uso. Kind of the only exception I'll kind of take with this, I think, and granted, not a lot of people know the behind the scenes stuff, but I think people, if they're fans of Rhea Ripley, they're pretty well aware that she just got married. So Jey Uso going after, like, oh, I hear she's single now. It was always like, I kind of like, Dom and her, together, but you always kind of been like, are they really like a romantic relationship? They kind of walked that line of it all. Here, Uso kind of broke that line with it. It kind of felt like, you know what I mean? Where it's like, yeah, Dom is, smitten by, Rhea in a lot of ways, but here, like, I don't know. It just that didn't hit me as well. I wonder how the casual fan feels. It probably did not do it, and is Jey Uso, I guess he can be. Yeah, he's still a good guy. I like Uso. I think he's a great baby face. So does it kind of work? Is it kind of pushing back at that? Like, okay, he's swooping in, but he's like teasing that Rhea's single now. So kind of funny stuff, but also like kind of like was a little bit of a disconnect for me when it comes to like how much I know about it and how much maybe, the entire audience knows about it. I wonder how much that did hit with other people. So let's see what else we got here. Is it just the main event? Looking at the rundown. It calls out Bo Dallas, covered that. Yeah, main event time. Sami Zayn, Ilya Dragunov. Obviously, these guys are great. And like, it's a good way to close out the show, I think. Because you get what Robert predicted and what was pretty much, well assumed to have happened. We're going to get Braun Breaker interfering in this baby. And he did, spearing Ilya Dragunov, causing no contest. Maybe it was a DQ finish where I guess Sami or Ilya technically gets the win. Either way, you have Braun Breaker standing tall at the end of the show. He closes out the show with the Intercontinental title. So really speaks to them laying the groundwork for everything feeling like a big deal, from, their World Heavyweight Championship to the Women's World Championship to the Intercontinental title. So great episode of Raw. Good stuff. Great follow-up. Setting some stuff up for SummerSlam. Not giving the whole hog away here, but helping you. That could have been the Blue Chew segue. But yeah, a great show. And this has been great today, guys. I flew solo today, which is A-okay. I like doing that from time to time, but I always miss Robert. He gives the added perspective that I don't think about. So, but guys, if you like hearing from me, you can catch me every Monday at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Rob Van Dam. New episode drops at that time. We go live the week before, so you can tune in there at rvdtv.com. Subscribe, like, share. You want to help me out? That would be a big help. Trying to get the word out more about that channel and make it a real big time because it's such a great show. I love One of a Kind with RVD. It's such a fun, unique. Rob covers a lot of ground. Well, there's a reason that he's called One of a Kind because he really is. So be sure to go to rvdtv.com, hit the like button, share it out, get the word out about it. Same with Straight Talk with the Boss. Well, it's going to be an interesting one this week. New episode will drop on Wednesday on the FourHorsemenNetwork.com. Great show that we had on that one. But Greg Gagne getting inducted into the Dan Gable, George Trejos, and Luthez Hall of Fame here, Waterloo, Iowa. And we're going to be on site for that. But One True Sport will be on site for too. There'll be some ad-free show presence there too. So some cool content forthcoming. Be on the lookout. FourHorsemenNetwork.com and check out OneTrueSportTV.com too. But you can check out a lot of great content here on adfreeshows.com as well. New insiders showing up I saw here earlier today, and lots of other cool stuff that is lined up that I saw popping up in the Patreon. So check it out, adfreeshows.com. But also be sure to check out Working Stiff. If you are a Patreon member of the Working Stiff, Robert actually gave you his thoughts on Raw. So you can check that out if you are a member behind that. Take a look, sign it up on the Patreon there. And yeah, give Russell, I almost called it Russell Rose. Holy smoke, Working Stiff some love. So, hey, love you guys. Thanks for joining here today. Good luck in your future endeavors. And go see Charlie Crockett live. $10 Cowboy, baby. All right. Catch ya. Mosey on down the road.